Hi, I'm Michael again. The title of this video is Bill Clinton, and I promise that before the end of the video I will tell you how Bill Clinton is related to this incident. So this video is really about my being afraid to interact with people, my being afraid to talk to people, and well, it started in 5th grade and mostly took place in 9th grade. And then in 5th grade, there was this one girl who I used to look at every so often. I didn't talk to her. I don't know if I would have wanted to talk to her if I could have talked to her. There was this one time I tried to put a stick in the ground on recess, and she said something about, like, you can't plant the stick or it's not going to grow. 6th grade, I don't remember any interaction with this girl. 7th grade, she was in the same band class as I was. A little bit of slight bothering. At one time she said, "You don't have to be afraid of me." At one time, we were both at the same summer camp in the summer after 8th grade, and near the end of the session, she got me to dance with her at a dance event, although 14-year-olds, 13 to 14-year-olds don't know how to dance. And I felt like embarrassingly stupid about it. And I guess my hands were at her side, near her like lower back, so I guess she could have gotten the idea that I touched the rear end from this instant, but this is her own fault for thinking this. And then when I was in 9th grade, she bothered me some more, and she would say things like, "Ooh, you're ugly," or "Ooh, you've got snow in your hair." And there was this one time when kids were passing notes in class, and I don't know if I took one of the notes or I just thought about taking one of the notes. And a couple times she would had a couple instances where I thought she'd brushed against me. And I've had this social anxiety problem for my whole life, and I couldn't talk in school. So when kids would bother me, I couldn't say anything about it. I remember there was a band concert, and while me and the other kids were sitting in the auditorium seats waiting for the time when we would get to go onto the stage, this girl and some of her friends were talking to each other and thought they might have been talking about me, and they were laughing, and some of them were getting up and moving around. And then after the band concert, while we were all walking off the stage, I dropped the pencil, and when I went to pick it up, I thought I brushed against this girl, and then I got this idea that something bad was going to happen because I had brushed against her, and I didn't like this girl. I didn't like the fact that she was bothering me every so often. And I don't remember whether I knew about the concept of man-woman relationships or people liking each other. And actually, I always kind of thought that man-woman relationships were like a shameful embarrassment, like something dirty or gross. Like, the whole topic of sex and man-woman relationships used to always embarrass the hell out of me. Like, I thought something scary was going to happen if someone discussed the topic. But anyways, there was, after this band concert, when my parents and me got home, my parents turned on the TV, and the Bill Clinton sex harassment story was on TV. This was in April of 1998. I was 14 years old, and I kind of liked Bill Clinton, and I don't know why. At the time, I didn't know the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats, and I didn't know about politics, but I guess I liked the way Bill Clinton talked, or he was charismatic, and otherwise I don't know why I like Bill Clinton. But when I heard about the Bill Clinton sex harassment story, I got this idea that if I talked to girls, then they would say that I sexually harassed them. I got this idea that a woman or a girl can do bad things and nobody will believe it, or a man can't say a woman did anything bad, even if it's true, but a woman can say a man did something bad and the man will get in trouble, whether it's true or false. So anyways, I got this idea that this girl was going to say that I sexually harassed her, and I briefly talked to my mother about it, and she agreed that nothing bad would happen and the girl would not say that I sexually harassed her. And then I went to school the next day, and I went close to the school office, and I thought about telling somebody that this girl was going to say I sexually harassed me, but I chickened out. I started to panic, and I just went to class. And then when I was in economics class, these two burly men came to the class. They were school officials, and one grabbed me by my one arm and one grabbed my other arm. They took me to the school office, and those two men were there, and two other men who were school officials were there. One was the school police officer, and they were saying that this one girl who had been bothering me had said that I touched her butt. They said she said that I sexually harassed her. They had me in the office for 45 minutes, and I sort of tried to say I didn't do anything. They lied and said they had videotape, or a video recording of something happening, and I was freaking out and panicking for the whole time, although I guess I didn't do much to show that I was freaking out and panicking. They said they were going to call my dad, and I don't know what they were talking about. They were like on the phone with different people. Then I got to go back to class, and I told my mother later, and then my mother ended up talking to somebody on the phone from the school, and then for a certain number of weeks nothing else happened, although I was on like a heightened alert, and I would panic when I would see this girl, and we were both in the same band class. And then in June of the same year, I got called to the school office again, only I was in there for no more than 2 minutes, and the guy who was in the office told me that this girl said I was stalking her. And I know that I had been consciously trying to stay a certain number of feet behind her so that there would be no reason for her to say that I was touching her. And I used to always wait outside the entrance to the band lockers until after the girl had left the locker room, so that I could go in the locker room, so that me and her wouldn't be in the locker room at the same time. There was this little area that was like a large closet, which had all the lockers where kids put their band instruments. And then there was this one point when I walked right past her, real close to her on purpose, just to somehow prove that I wasn't stalking her. And then in 10th grade, no, 12th grade, there was another girl who used to bother me, and she used to say stuff like, "Oh, you should feel like a piece of shit too because you don't know what you're doing either." This was while we were in marching band practice. And then I this time I was smarter, and I wrote down all these things she said, and then I told someone in the office, and I showed them what I wrote down, and I didn't have a problem with this girl for the rest of the year.